credit scores are a really big investment. And the thing is that a lot of people that I know have no idea just how important a credit score is. And it's an unfortunate reality when you think of it. But credit scores, they're so important when it comes to actually making big decisions in life. And I wish more people understood that because credit scores are an investment. It doesn't really seem like it, but really, I mean, think of it. If you're getting a discount on your interest rate on everything, including on a house payment, I think that's amazing. And same thing if you're a renter, even if you don't own your own house, when you go to apply as a tenant, your credit score determines how much you're going to pay sometimes. And I think credit score is a bigger investment than people realize. And I actually been working on it for a couple years, even before I was 18. And I kind of just wanted to share how I was able to do that. And yeah, everybody my age, they don't think credit score is an investment. And I learned it the hard way from hearing from other people just how bad it is. It's actually crazy. And it's, to me, it's just shocking. I had no idea how many people didn't realize this. But right now, I don't know my exact score. I don't check it constantly. But I know that the way a credit score is determined is mostly based on how likely the person who's lending to you is going to trust you. And so, kind of why it's an investment is because you build trust. And the unfortunate thing is if you make a couple mistakes, your credit score drops like crazy. And I want to make this clear for everybody that please don't make any mistakes for it. The thing that I started when I was younger is that I just got a joint account with my mom. She was able to help me by just allowing me to use a credit card, like a separate one, before I was 18. And it actually built a credit score for me before I was even 18, which is crazy because I actually put it on, I think it's on Experian, where you connect all the stuff to your account with your social security and everything. And it basically just determines your credit worthiness. But what sucks is it's actually very confusing. I just wanted to make it easy for everyone, especially since it's a really big investment that not many people, especially my age, think of. Even when one of a big one of the big goals that many people my age, like I'm 19 right now, and everyone my age dreams of buying a house, but how can you afford it if you have a lower credit score? Even like the interest rate, it's gonna destroy people, right? And really, to me, it just started with really discipline. Same thing as making an investment. It's with the discipline. When I was younger, I just wanted to buy, like, say, Pokemon cards or something. And it's wild because I just like bought like 10, $20 worth of stuff, maybe something on a video game on my Xbox. And from then, I was able to pay it off right away with the money I made from just working on the side. Like, I was working at fast food. I didn't make too much, but at least I knew what to do with my money. I didn't spend it on a ton of stuff. Like, the way I had it is I would put a certain amount of money into an investment account, and then a small amount into discretionary purchases that I would put on a credit card, and then I would pay it off right away. Like, as soon as possible. Trust me, you don't want to forget. That can destroy your score. And it's been 3 years of building credit. Now I'm 19, but I started when I was much younger. Like, really, it's shocking just how much it actually helped me. And yeah, I think it's like 767, 70 now, which is wild. I look at the statistics and like almost nobody my age has that score now. It's just unfortunate because they're really missing out on like 2% on interest, something like that, 1 to 2%, which is wild. really is. And so, yeah, even if you're under 18, you could still build credit. Trust me, it's easier than you think. It's just buried under such a complicated system that is there to confuse you. And it's unfortunate because really there's so many tools out there that many people have no idea of, and really building credit is an investment. It's going to save you literally hundreds of thousands if you were to have a mortgage. Hundreds of thousands, I'm telling you, if you do a compound interest calculator, a mortgage calculator, you see the difference in credit scores. It will actually save you hundreds of thousands. I'm not joking. It's building credit is another one of those investments, and it costs much less than say putting money into a stock market or something, because right, you could lose it. But if you think about it, you look into the future of what you actually want to save money on. Probably the biggest cost that most people have is living, right? The cost of living. And a mortgage or rent is the biggest part of that. And if you have a good credit score, that actually saves you tens to hundreds of thousands. It's actually crazy. I did some of the calculations. It's wild. Like, if you bought a $400,000-$500,000 house, which is a bit crazy today. I think house prices are definitely a bit up there for my age. I was looking at getting multifamily units later because I think that really with my credit score, it's just going to keep going up with the system I have in place. Like for me, and I think for anybody else, it's less confusing when you create a system around it, when you optimize really what you're trying to do. So I'll walk you through again what I did. I put a certain amount of money discretionary. I probably like $50 or something on stuff like on my Xbox, or I don't even know what I spent it on. Which is kind of hilarious because really, if you want to have a good purchase, it's something that you remember that you bought. But yeah, like I had some Pokemon cards that I bought too when I was younger, just with friends on a credit card. I would pay it off right away so I wouldn't forget, especially at my age, a lot of forgetful stuff. But really, that actually built my credit history. And most people think that doesn't build credit history, but it actually does. It works on my account. I can't show you the specific details because that gives away some of my information, and I don't want to do that. But really, it's with habits and discipline. I mean, yeah, I just started monthly doing just really leaving room for discretionary spending because you want to have fun sometimes. Like, even if you're going out with friends, if I have the money to be able to put on a credit card and then pay it off the next day, that's my thinking, is that I need to actually have the money to pay it off. Otherwise, I'm not gonna spend anything. And that's where some people get caught up, is they think they can spend more than they can, but you're actually borrowing from the future, right, to pay off really what you wanted to buy by saying you're gonna pay it off at a later date. And that can really mess you up. And really, just I started with those habits, and yeah, over 3 years, up to a 760, 770 at 19. And it's really shocking once you realize it. I'm gonna put in the description kind of an outline of how I really started with this habit, because it really is a habit and discipline. I think it's kind of hard just to start out of nowhere. It's kind of, you need a plan. Otherwise, there are some things that if you make the mistake, it might damage you, like especially if you forget something on a credit card. But I do think that with building credit, it's pretty simple. It's just made so confusing with all these different things and all this crap. It sucks. But the credit is the most important thing, really, for someone who's younger, because of really, eventually I gotta find a place to live, or maybe if I'm gonna buy some properties later down once I save more money. Because I think part of the thing that really gives me more financial freedom is saving money to be able to invest it into more riskier things. And same thing goes with credit. It's probably a bit risky right now if you are a forgetful person, but you can actually set reminders. Like even I had on an alarm. Like I would just kind of just remember right after I made the purchase, set an alarm for tomorrow when the transaction goes through, and I just pay it right off. And that really does build credit, especially paying it off right away and doing it every month. I think it's such a big investment, and really it needs to be drilled in, because some people don't realize just how powerful credit actually is. And it sucks that right now we're in kind of a economy where we need to borrow, but you can actually take advantage of that where some people are actually lacking in it. And if you have the difference in interest rate, like if I'm paying a much less interest rate than somebody else on a mortgage just because I have a better credit score, that's saving me so much money. It's incredible. And really, that's an investment. I know it's not really going to cash flow or anything like the actual definition of an investment, but later on that can actually help you save money that really didn't cost you too much up front. If you think about the return rate, say like I spent less than $1,000 on this credit card this year and it built my credit score by say 20 points. I'm not sure how much exactly it builds up, but think about it. If you were to then get a mortgage years down the line and you had a good credit score, and you think about through that 30-year time span, you would have paid, see, on a $300,000 house, you would have probably paid $700,000 to $800,000 in total in today's interest rate. But if you had a lower interest rate, like it actually went down a good amount, like 1 or 2%. I mean, just think about that. That's like $100,000 to $120,000 you just saved. And what, you only spent a couple thousand on building your credit? And maybe it's things that you enjoyed on discretionary spending. It's about actually making those smart spending decisions that really nobody teaches you about. The way I learned it is really just through watching videos of people and just condensing that information from different videos into my mind, basically. And I just wanted to really make this YouTube channel that I just started on helping people by condensing that information that I already have. And to me, I just think I can provide so much value just by sharing the information. I know I actually started out with just sharing stuff with my friends about how really you could build credit and really how much money you're actually going to have in investments if you just use it. And then if you pull up that money and then dump it into a multifamily property, a duplex or something, where it's an actual investment that could cash flow for you, that I'm actually thinking of in the future. I'm in Illinois, so the property taxes are kind of crazy, not gonna lie. And the cost of living is definitely more expensive here, but I mean, I already started looking to make deals because I think I need to really learn to make that investment. But it really starts out with those habits. Credit score, probably that's a pretty good priority, and also making those monthly or even weekly contributions, like $5 a week. It really is just the small things that people don't start. Like same thing with starting this YouTube channel or maybe trying new things. It's you got to take those small steps first before you realize any results. And it really takes a big leap of faith if you think about it. And for me, I think it's important to share that credit score is an investment. I think some people, they have all this stuff on their credit cards and stuff. That is really something you should not be doing. If you want to use a credit card the right way, it needs to be a habit, I mean, it can be a good habit, but not like a bad habit. Your spending habits on different things. You gotta be strategic, like it's an investment, and it will pay off like it's an investment. If you strategize with how you're gonna build credit score through specific amounts every month that you're just gonna pay off as soon as you purchase, that can actually be thought of as an investment, because later on, when you go and you make a big purchase with borrowing something, it really saves you so much money. And it sucks that in today's economy, you couldn't do too much with just straight cash. But I think credit score is also that good investment that you could build on the side with pulling money into your investment account. It really just starts with the simple things that I realized when talking to people. They have no idea about these things, and it's an unfortunate reality, and I just want to help people. That's my goal, because investments give you freedom, and if you make the habit and the time to make investments, not just putting in money into the S&P 500, but thinking about strategically, hey, my credit score is going to go up if I do these certain things. How is that going to help me in the future? What's my time frame of, hey, if I'm going to pull up this much money in investments, what am I going to expect to be able to pay on a house? If I want a car, I don't recommend cars too much because they're a money pit. I gave them when my parents got me a car, which is so fortunate, but the interest rates, just the interest rates alone, are much higher on a used car. But the thing is that if you have a good credit score, like because of my credit score, it's saved us thousands, literally thousands, on the total amount paid. And it's such a good investment. I can't believe nobody tells you this. I can't believe nobody tells you that credit score is an investment. Because the reality is nobody has all that cash. And if you think about it strategically, where you borrow just enough for the future that you know that is going to be an investment. Because really, when you get a loan, you're borrowing from the future. But if you can strategize on actually how to be able to use that to your advantage, I think it really starts with credit score as it being your investment. And the fact that nobody tells you this in school either, like especially in high school, there's no classes on it, which is so unfortunate, because then when students graduate high school and they start spending that money, I mean, sometimes they forget that they have to pay it back. And yeah, that really ruins some people. And yeah, the credit industry, they make a lot of money, but if you strategize and figure out how to do it correctly, I think this investment will pay such big dividends in future interest rate costs that I think that is such a great investment. It doesn't start with too much effort other than just applying for the credit card. I think for most people, that's probably the biggest thing, is actually applying it. I know some people already have it, but use it for different things. But I would have a separate one where I would keep the credit utilization at a low rate for that credit card. Like, say if I had $1,000 credit card, and the way that a good chunk of your credit score is determined by is your credit utilization. So if I had $1,000 credit limit, now spending say $100 a month or less, like I just put some subscriptions on there, let's say, and now I pay that off as soon as it gets charged. Now that on my credit score, the way that they calculate is utilization. If I'm constantly using a credit score and it shows that I have a low utilization, that means that I pay off my credit, and that actually increases my credit score. And I was doing this under 18 because I realized that you can actually have joint accounts and use that information for future credit. And it's such a big investment. I can't stress it enough. I really can't. The credit, some people get screwed over with borrowing, especially on cars and stuff, with just the credit score alone. Even if you don't own a home and you're a renter, like if I was a landlord and I saw somebody had a lower credit score, I would have to charge more, right? Because I don't know if they're gonna pay and when they say they are. And it's the same thing with lending, right? From the landlord's perspective or the lender's perspective, they need something to show them that you're worthy and what's your likelihood that you're going to pay this off. And credit score is that investment that really, if you have a higher credit score, thousands and thousands it will save you. Thousands, I'm telling you. It's something that's so unfortunate that nobody has taught. And me just sharing this video, I think, really just helps people. The damage that credit does to some people, it's so unfortunate. I just wish people knew these habits that I figured out, especially with building that credit. I'm going to leave in the description different ways that I was able to do it, like my system of doing it. It's pretty simple. I think it's more just about your willingness to grow, to improve. And that's really all I have for credit scores and investment. I just can't stress enough how you have to strategize about it, because it really is an investment that saves you thousands.